Hey guys, so Leo, after yesterday's video, Leo wanted some more information on how exactly I actually teach the kids at my school. So I thought I'd give you a little more information. Everybody at the school, all the classes have curriculum already picked out. We have like a teacher manager person who also teaches, but she picks out all of the curriculums and everything that we're going to be using in our classes, as far as the books and things like that go. The books are pretty structured. They are normally a course book and then like an activity book. So they line up with each other. And so you'll have, say in the course book, it'll have a page on phonetics. That all the kids learn phonetics for reading English. So phonetics, and it's usually like 2 or 3 letters at a time. So A and B, and then so we'll go through in the book, and it'll have like pictures of words that begin with A and B, and then you go over into the activity book, and it'll have like activities having to do with that. Most of the curriculums also come with a CD. So, like there are tracks on the CD that'll line up with the pages in the book so that it's different how the different curriculums work. Like for my 4-year-olds, the CD that comes with it is mostly songs and things because it's for 4-year-olds. There's lots of songs that we use, like A is for apples kind of stuff, and it's just little songs that they'll go around and sing for the rest of their lives, especially during playtime. Um, and that you play with them. Whereas, like one of the books for my 7-year-old class, the CD is like so important for this curriculum, and that kind of drives me crazy because I'm not a big. I like the songs, like for the 4-year-olds, that's great, but for this book, it's like it's all listening activities, and instead of just giving me a teacher's guide so that I can read them out, I have to sit there and play the CD. And inevitably, teacher, teacher, I didn't hear. That's my phone. Teacher, teacher, I didn't hear. I have to start the entire track over again, or I have to pause it and tell them, and it just gets really confusing. I would just rather read it, but that's how the curriculum is laid out. So yeah, most of the the courses have a course book, an activity book, and then a CD that goes with it. Each class has 2 sets of those. One is course book, obviously, which is like, language structure, grammar, listening activities kind of stuff. The other one is, they call it storybook. It's not necessarily storybooks. It's not like I take a storybook off the shelf. It's just books that are more to promote reading and reading comprehension and usually some vocabulary and things like that. The older kids also get like a creative writing kind of thing in their books, um, which is really hard for kids that have only been speaking English 6 months. But we're working on it. We're working on it. So most of the time, my day, they have to finish these books. That's the big difference that I've seen between working here and what I remember from U.S. schools is that we have to do every page of the book. We have to finish the book before the end of the quarter. Because at the end of the term, I send the books home. All of the books are their books. They write in them and everything. If I send a book home and it's got a blank page, I'm getting a call from a parent wanting to know why they had to buy this book that we didn't even use. We didn't use this page. She paid for this page. We need to have this page done. So I have to do every page with them. And with more advanced kids, it's not that big a deal, have them work in groups and do this. But with my kids, I can't really do that. The little ones are too little. They wouldn't, things would go wrong. And my 7-year-olds just don't have the English skills yet to keep communicating on their own in English. So normally we do those pages as a class, out of the course book, and the activity book, we'll go through with the 4-year-olds. It's pretty easy. Normally it's like color the words that begin with B, or trace. There's a lot of tracing, trace the letters, trace the words kind of deal. There's some of the storybooks that are really, really, really cool, have some really interesting activities in their activity book, where like it's lots of cutting and gluing and stickers and in special places and things. So that's really awesome. But yeah, so most of my classes revolve around working out of those 2 books. I follow the lesson plans that are in the books and develop activities around what's going on. Some of the classes I have more time for my own activities than others. There is one class in particular where um, most of the books that we use are for non-native kids. It's for, books that were written as ESL books for kids to help them learn English. But I have one class, and for whatever reason, we're using a book that was not written for ESL students. It was just written for kindergartners in the U.S. And it's a good book, but there's parts of it that take longer to explain because it wasn't written for international students that aren't already familiar with English. So with that class, it takes a little bit longer to get things done and, just do the lessons. I'm apparently a very important person today. All of a sudden, all of my phones started blowing up. Activities that we do, I normally try, if we have time for activities, to do things that'll get them up and out of their seat. With my 7-year-olds, we do a lot of writing on the board. Who can spell this word? They come up and write it. With my little kids, I do a lot with flashcards, lots of games with flashcards. Kristen came up with the best game that I'm going to keep using. Basically, you take a flashcard, and she, like the picture cards, and she puts them all around the floor in like different patterns, and as she says the word, they have to jump to each one, like one at a time. And I did this the other day with my little ones, and it was the most exciting activity. They all wanted to do it. They all had to do it. And don't you know, they knew all the words because they had to do it themselves. They had to jump on each word, and they had to watch all of their classmates go through and do it too. So they learned the words. It was fantastic. It was a beautiful moment. This video is getting really long, so if you have any other specific questions on how I teach my kids, basically to sum up, each class has 2 curriculums, 4 books, 2 CDs. It's a lot to do, and when I have time, I do other activities with them. But everything I do pretty much centers on those books. So that's about it, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.